Welcome back to the channel, guys. This is VIN0680, VIN680. This is a 2016 1J7, which is atomic silver, kind of the goldish silver look, and it has LA20 black interior. For sale on Facebook Marketplace and in the Facebook groups in Florida, 69,000 miles for $47,000. Sounds like a pretty fair price to me. We'll dive into that here in a little bit. It's been a Florida and Georgia car its whole life, and so we'll jump into it and see what we find here. Production statistics: 327 out of the 2,347 cars were atomic silver. Of those, 151 had LA20 black interior. That is 6.43% of all of the production, so it's like a 5 out of 10 for rarity. It's not super rare, it's not super common. 2016 specifically, 198 out of the 1,417 cars for the US 49 were atomic silver, and of those, 91 had LA20 black interior. So this car is one of 91, which sounds like a lot, but for atomic silver, you know, it's a pretty common color on atomic silver. Carfax, Epic VIN, and AutoCheck. So Carfax shows this as a 2-owner, no accident car. Epic VIN shows this as a 1-owner, no accident car, and I don't think that's right. It's definitely a 2-owner. AutoCheck shows this as a 2-owner, no accident car. So I think it is safe to assume this is a 2-owner, no accident car, which is what you like to see. Previous sales. So this car went on sale January of 2016, $88,000 in Miami, Florida. Still for sale in February of 2016. They dropped it to $82,000 in September of 2016, and then it looks like they moved it to a different dealer, maybe a dealer trade in Georgia in December of 2016, where it finally sold in January of 2017, so it sat for sale for a year. That's pretty common to see on these cars when they were new. Even after, you saw they dropped the price like $6,000. That wasn't even enough to get it moved. These cars sold in like the low to mid 70s, and so the dealers had to discount them heavily to get them sold, and this is probably one of those cars. February of 2021, $47,500 with 21,000 miles in Florida to the current owner in under 3 weeks. And then now here it is mid-February 2026 with 69,000 miles for $47,000. So this car is a great example of a car that you could, if you bought it at the right time, late 19 to early 21, you can basically drive this car for free until now. And so $500 less than what you paid for it 5 years ago. Not many cars you can do that with. So now onto the photos. The carbon fiber is delaminating on the left front dash piece. Pretty common to see. That's the cheapest one to replace. It's about $600 or $700 if you buy a new one, or you can send it off to SMA Fabrication in Florida, and he can redo it for a couple $100, save you some money. And that's an easy one to pop out. You just pull it out and you can send it off. Really, that's the only thing I see. This car looks like it presents very well. Ask for some closer photos of the front end, the touch points like the steering wheel, the armrest, the seat bolster, things like that. But overall, it looks extremely clean. Just, I would ask for more photos. But yeah, I'm really trying to pick this one apart, and I don't see a lot on it. So I think it has the potential to be a great one, but as I said, just ask for more photos. So now onto the price. The price is spot on with where I would put it, and it's right in the middle of the curve. It's average mileage, it's average price, it's an accident-free example, Southern car with 2 owners, no accidents. And so I think that where it's priced is super fair. I think that as long as there's nothing else we find, I think it'll sell pretty quickly at this price. So now into the service history. Well, maybe we've got one red flag here. It's not exactly well dealer serviced, and after the last dealer service, there's nothing. So I would ask the owner, maybe it's been DIY or it's been done at his favorite independent mechanic that just doesn't report to Carfax. Obviously ask about the service history on this car if you're inquiring. The first entry of note is June of 2018. The JLB recall was done. That's the high pressure fuel pumps. Most of these cars have that done. Good to see. May of 2019, the low pressure fuel pump was reprogrammed for that. So that's the humming or buzzing from the back seat. Good to see that's done. 32,000 miles, November of 2021. They noted inner edge tire wear, and it's actually on all 4 corners, but specifically on the front. What do we know about that? Front lower control arm bushings. That's probably what this car needs, and it's just going to have inner tire wear until that's addressed. But at that service, they replaced all 4 tires, so good to see. And then there's nothing on Carfax or AutoCheck, anything after that. So 32,000 miles, now it has 70,000 miles. So the last almost 40,000 miles and the last 5 years or so, there's nothing on the service history. So I would check for oil changes. I would check for brakes, any other fluid services. Is the 60,000 mile service done? You know, so that's one of the things that's not done. 60,000 mile service, that would be brake fluid, spark plugs, in-depth inspection on everything else. So the 60,000 mile service of record is not done on this car. The valley plate, that's the big thing. Get a pre-purchase inspection on this car and inspect the valley plate, make sure it's not leaking. If it is, set aside anywhere from $1,500 at an independent mechanic to $2,000 plus at the dealer. I had a quote on my blue one just very recently, almost $2,400 to have the valley plate done. So that is something I would definitely look at. As I said, the front lower control arm bushings, the ZLZ, that is the sticky, delaminating, deforming dash. That is covered 10 years from the in-service date on this car, which is January 21st of 2017. So you have until January 21st of 2027 to get the dash replaced free of charge. Otherwise, after that, it's out of pocket and it can be expensive. I don't see where the KLG was done on this car. That is the GPS location update. If you're going to put Android Auto or CarPlay, an aftermarket system in it, then I wouldn't worry about doing that anyway. But brakes, question mark, tires, question mark, transmission service, differential service, things like that, I would look and see, you know, ask questions to the seller, ask them if any of that has been done. If any of that has been done, ask for proof that it's been done. But that would be the big question mark on this one, would be the service history. And everything else looks like, you know, it looks amazing from the outside, and it has no accidents, it's Southern driven, it's only got 2 owners. You know, all of the boxes are ticked except for the service history. And so that's, of course, the big one on these cars. So, as I said, ask lots of questions regarding the service history, get a pre-purchase inspection done. So that brings me to, would I buy this car? I think I would, pending service history and pending pre-purchase mechanical inspection. If the transmission has not been done, transmission service has not been done, or the differential has not been done, I would definitely do those right away and check to see if it has a sticky dash. It's in Florida, and Florida has the hot weather and the UV rays and everything else that is what causes the sticky dash on these cars. So if this car spent any significant time outside, it probably needs the dash done anyway, and it's still covered for almost another year. So yeah, I think I would, but I think that the price is right. Otherwise, just prove up the service history and get a mechanical inspection. So that's all I've got for this one. Vin0680. Thanks again for watching, guys. We'll see you soon.